Welcome to Self Love Strong Podcast. We'll explore the power of positivity and purpose towards your goals. Whether you're setting a goal or just looking to achieve it, this podcast is for you. See, I believe that a positive mindset and a strong sense of purpose are essential to reaching your goals and simply living a healthy and fulfilling life. So join me as we dive into success made easy with CBT as you work towards your goals. Get ready to unleash your inner power, embrace your purpose, and move positively as you achieve your goals like never before. Together. Hey, friends. This is Sam, your friend, your coach, your host of the show. I'm actually a trainer in the Round Rock area, nutrition coach. And hey, friends, I'm on a journey here. And I'm excited to share it with you. I'm on a journey of becoming a coach. Becoming a coach, I want to teach you some of the techniques that I'm learning and I'm implementing. And I'm excited for here to you to share with you about CBT. So, hey, friends, I want to start off with a little bit of a quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's by Norman Vincent Peale, which is actually one of my favorite authors, or my favorite book. I mean, so many favorites, right? But it's the power of positive thinking. His quote says this. He says, when you change your thoughts, you change your life. But even better than that, he says, when you change your thoughts, you change your world. So that's what we're going to be talking about here, friends. Your thoughts. And that's kind of what CBT and what CBT stands for. It says cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy. But I like to call it, cognitive behavioral technique. And because it is a technique, I believe it's a technique and it's a massive tool that can change your life because your thoughts are so powerful. And when you become in charge of your thoughts, when you can take control of your thoughts, it unleashes an unlock like never before. So I read this amazing book. It's one of my favorite authors as well. His name is Wayne Dyer. And in this book, it was called that book. What's the name of that book? The book was Erroneous Zones. And he says in this book, he says, your thoughts control your emotions, and your emotions control your thoughts. So with that quote saying, you control your thoughts. That's what he's saying. And that's kind of what CBT is really the study of how our thoughts control our emotions and how we respond and how we react. So with that being said, I really want you to think about this. I want to dive into this because his quote says, when our thoughts control our emotions, and therefore your emotions control your thoughts. So now that your thoughts control your emotions, and you know that your emotions kind of uh, dictate your thoughts, at the end of the day, you can control your thoughts. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that powerful how you can control your thoughts? And I want to show you how powerful your mind is because I was doing this speaker training and they gave me this thing. It said, I want you to think about this. If you have some time, if you can close your eyes, but listen to this because you'll feel this emotion. You've seen how powerful your mind is right here. I want you to think about a lemon, right? Think about the most sourest thing in the world and think about a lemon, right? I want you to think about the most sour lemon you could ever think of. And as you're thinking about this sour lemon, I want you to think about taking that bite of that lemon or just putting that lemon, squeezing that lemon into your mouth. And what happens right there? This is how powerful your mind is because me just talking about it, my tongue naturally starts to build up a little bit more saliva. My cheeks get a little bit higher. My body starts to tense up. And that's just the thought, right? I'm just thinking about if I take the most sourest thing, how my lip kind of pucker, how my tongue gets a little bit more for that sourness. And that's just how powerful your mind is. Because think about that emotion that came behind just that little demonstration there as you are feeling the sensations of something sour and how your tongue responds and the emotions you feel. Think about that emotion behind that action, right? That action of I'm eating that lemon. My body is anticipating something super sour, so I naturally tense up. My tongue starts to saliva a little bit more. And I want to take that aspect into your thoughts. Now, notice how powerful your thought was of invoking that emotion of how your body responded, the emotion of how your body reacted, just that simple demonstration of the lemon. And when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to CBT, that technique is really realizing that now that I realize how powerful my thoughts are, what are the emotions that I'm bringing with my thoughts? Right? Because now that we've established that you're in control of your thoughts, what are the thoughts that you're thinking? And one of my favorite movies, it's a funny quote by The Sandlot. And, so in this movie, The Sandlot, there's five kids. They're playing this baseball tournament. And the whole premise of the story is this kid takes a baseball, signed Ruth, and he's like, friends, like, we need a baseball. So he takes this baseball signed by Babe Ruth that his father has in their cabinet. And what happens is they play with that ball. The first pitch of the game, the kid hits it over the fence into a backyard. And it was funny because one of the kids says, he's like, man, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. And one of his kids says, if you weren't thinking that, you wouldn't have thought, if you weren't thinking that, you wouldn't have thought that. And the power of your thoughts here, friends. That's really what I'm going to stay focused on here is the power of your thoughts. Now, when we now establish the power of our thoughts, you may be wondering, Sam, how am I going to control my thoughts? And what really is that one of the benefits of CBT is really journaling, right? Because journaling will not only, because I realize most of the thoughts were thoughts that other people have, right? Maybe the thoughts that people told you weren't good enough. Maybe the thoughts that this is gonna be hard for me. Maybe the thoughts that I'm not worthy enough. Maybe the thoughts that of this. And I want you to think about these emotions that come with these things, those self-limiting beliefs. When someone tells you that you're not good enough, what is the emotion attached to that? Right? What is the emotion attached to that? When somebody tells you I'm not good enough, maybe you feel defeated. Maybe you feel a little bit invulnerable. Maybe it strikes up anger, intentional with what do you that go with it? And start tracking that in your journaling, right? Because now that if we start tracking what we do, what the thought we have, we can kind of really attach those emotions to it. And when we're more clear on the emotions that are coming from our thoughts, we can really start taking those actions and really starting to control the narrative. They would maybe your thoughts are someone else's for you. I realized that in my life. There was a lot of the self-limiting beliefs were thoughts that other people put on me, and I accepted them as my thoughts. And I really want to give you a nice thing that I learned here. It's called the win then. And I love this because you take a piece of paper, you draw a line right down the center, and you're right win and then, right? This is a technique right here that will fundamentally change your life and your thoughts, but it give you more clarity because maybe you have that thought right now, this very thought, write that line down the center. So on that winning section, I'm going to write this right here. When someone tells me I'm not good enough, so someone tells, I'm trying to fit it in here. It's probably not the best. Me, I'm not good enough. When someone tells me I'm not enough, I like to write here. And then I'm going to say, whenever I have that feeling, that thought of when that thought of I'm not good enough comes in, this is a picture, then I'm going to say, I put in the work. I've showed up and put in the work. But one of my favorite things is other people's opinions don't have to be my reality. When I feel that someone has told me that thought of they told me I'm not good at this, I say then their their this their opinions don't have to become my reality. So when you start implementing journaling into your daily routine, and you start catching all those wins. When I feel unworthy, when I feel not good enough, when I feel that I'm not giving my best, I want you to have the thins. Because when you have the thins, when those thoughts come in, you can take control and you can change the narrative. Because I found myself many times getting stuck in the win, getting stuck in the limiting beliefs, getting stuck not thinking I was good enough. But I realized that I could control my thoughts. And then now that my thoughts control my emotions, really, I want you to think about when it really comes to your success, the thing that is overlooked is what emotions am I going to need to succeed? Right? What are the thoughts that I'm going to need to succeed? Maybe you find yourself each and every year setting a goal and wondering why you're on the hamster wheel of life. And I realize it really probably comes down to this. We aren't having the thoughts and the emotions that we need to succeed. And I really want to give you this analogy because I believe the greatest movie stars can really foster the thoughts and the emotions into their act. And this really hit me because now that I was really looking into CBT as a technique and learning it as a coaching practice, is now that I was thinking about, I remember an interview I heard from Johnny Depp, and it was crazy because your thoughts, I believe now that I understand that your thoughts take you to a place, and maybe your thoughts are taking you to the past. Because Johnny Depp, he did this interview, and he's like, I hate watching myself in movies, and I was like, that's odd, one of these top star actors, and it was specifically when he was playing the Pirates of the Caribbean role. He said specifically, I don't like to watch that movie because that's not me. And I realized as he kind of, in his future, he was talking about his struggles with addiction and alcoholism, and that character was a drunken pirate, right? Well, what he would do as an actor is you kind of go back to those hard places, those places where the emotions. Like actors are so sensitive and they really get back to the emotion of the role. Well, I believe the reason Johnny Depp didn't like watching himself there is because I believe he was going back to a place he knew he no longer was to play that role. Now, I want you to ask yourself that question. Am I going back and bringing the emotions where I wasn't successful into my current situation and expecting my role to change? Are you expecting your role to change, going to that same situation, that same setback, that same challenge, coming in with the same emotion and the same thoughts, expecting things to change? Because in order for things to change, your thoughts need to change. There's a great book, it's called Think and Grow Rich. And realizing that our thoughts have so much power. Our thoughts not only control our emotions, but we have the power to choose our thoughts. Really let that sink in. You have the power to change your world, your thoughts right now. So now it's time to take that power back, right? So really start to focus on what thoughts. I'm going to give you something here. I'm going to actually be adding this. I'm going to add it to my link. I'm going to put it in a link here. I'm going to give you a nice little sheet with maybe some questions so we can get our wins. When those challenging questions, I'm going to give you a little worksheet where it's going to have some challenging questions here and some challenging prompts. And then I want you to get your thing because when we set ourselves up for our wins and thins, we can find ourselves being successful when the challenge comes. I know how to respond because not only am I controlling the narrative, I'm controlling my thoughts. All right, here, friends. I'm super thankful for you guys. I'm excited for you to be on this coach's journey with me. Man, I'm excited to share so much more techniques because I believe that you have everything you need to succeed in exactly here. Start with those wins. Decide what your things are going to be when that challenge comes, when that adversity is there. Control your things and control the narrative, realizing that you have the power to choose your thoughts. And when you control your thoughts, you control your emotions. Let's make this, yes, my friends, on this music, but make this time where you realize that you have the power to choose your thoughts, and your thoughts control your emotions. All right, here, friends. Hey, super thankful for you guys. Let's make this a week to remember. And we're going to break it on down. So, hey, remember, as you enter into this week, remember to keep moving positively, powerfully, and purposefully towards your goals. Take care.